for anyone new to the channel, I'm Linda.
And I'm Troy. And we are excited, guys, because we are going back on the road and we're headed out west.
Right, but that means there are some travel days in our future. And we're not full-timers, we're part-timers. So that means every few months we got to get back into the groove so we don't forget things.
So today we have 10 things not to forget on travel day. Today's video is about 10 things that if you do them, it's going to be expensive and it's going to ruin your trip. Either we've done them ourselves or we've read about other people doing it too.
Right, and these 10 things are really easy to overlook on travel day. So that's why we wanted to do the video, so you can go ahead and add them to your checklist. Speaking of checklists, we found the best way to get a checklist is to go online, download multiple checklists, and then take them, do a walkthrough of your own camper on travel day, and that way you can put together your perfect checklist.
Before you pull in your awning or you bring in your slide, you want to look for limbs. You want to look for things that may have fallen onto the camper overnight. Before you get ready to go, you can cause some serious damage if you don't know it's there.
Another important thing to remember on travel days are your windows. If your blinds are down inside your camper, you may not notice that these are open. Now this one is the emergency window, so it opens a little bit further. The other ones could be open just a little bit. So make sure that you are closing those windows. Otherwise you might find when you get to your destination, you have a shattered window. So remember, close the windows.
When you do your final 360 around the trailer and you're fixing to leave the campsite wherever you are, take the time to double check that every one of these storage compartments are closed, latched, and locked. It's not a good feeling to look in your rearview mirror as you're pulling your trailer down the expressway and see this little door just flapping in the breeze. That'll make you a little anxious.
Another item that you want to make sure is fully closed, that's this fridge. Now we have been guilty of this. Not on long travel days, but kind of if we just have to move the camper around, maybe the fridge is not stocked, but we always leave it ajar so it airs out and we forget to fully close it before we hitch up and move it, which that means we've got scratches on our fridge. So before you walk out the door, just give one final push to make sure it's fully closed.
Make sure before you head down the road that you absolutely ensure that your sewer hose storage compartment is not just locked with a little latch that comes with it. Take the time to get a little small carabiner and run it through the little hole provided. In that way you can be assured that when you go down the highway, that little gate isn't going to flip open and your sewer line isn't going to dangle for a while before it just goes out completely and you have to buy an expensive sewer line at your next stop.
Now, chances are on a travel day, you're making breakfast before you leave. And that means your stove is probably in this upright position. So before you walk out that door, take a second look at the stove. Make sure that the glass is fully down. Last thing you want to do is get where you're going and find glass everywhere.
When you get ready to leave, make it a point to bring all your stabilizers up. Don't forget. I know it sounds like something you wouldn't forget, but always do that final walk around. And don't forget to look for those small chocks that we leave in front and in back of tires. I've pulled over top of them sometimes and it's pretty embarrassing.
So Troy, what was it about those little chocks again?
You know those little small chocks that you get at Walmart? I think Hamco makes them. They're small. But they'll get a lot smaller when you pull over on it with a Class C RV. It sounds like a gun going off. I've done that.
Yes. Okay, on to the next one. And as you are wrapping up the inside, don't forget to check inside things like your microwave and your oven. All of us in small campers will often use these things to store pots and pans or glass dishes, and the last thing you want to do is go down the road and have forgotten a glass dish inside the microwave or inside your oven, which could result in a shattered door.
And we always check our running lights, our brake lights, our turn signals, all of these things before we go on a trip and every time we crank up the RV for the first time, just to make absolutely certain the people behind us understand what we're fixing to do and what we're about before we do it. This last one is one I haven't done, but the way that is sometimes when I'm on the road and I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, this one could possibly get me.
Yeah, we've actually heard of quite a few people of this happening too, and that is forgetting to put the steps up. And we're not talking about, when you're pulling away from your house or the storage unit. We're talking about stopping at rest areas or gas stations. We go in the camper, we're, getting a sandwich, and, I could see one of us assuming that the other one was going to go behind and put the steps up and finish locking up the camper. So anytime you've stopped and put those steps down, make sure you do one final go around the camper, make sure everything is put up, because losing those steps, that could be a very expensive trip. So those are the 10 items that we think should be on just about everybody's checklist.
Now, if you guys out there in the world have things that you think need to be on this list and you don't think made it on today's video, please notify us by leaving them in the comments down below. We love your feedback, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
And remember, Desi here, he always wants you to hit that notification bell.